Whispers Beyond the Veil. Episode 4. The Forgotten Ritual. Chapter 1. Echoes of Ashes. Evelyn Carter thought she had escaped the doll's grip, but freedom was an illusion. The weight of unseen eyes lingered in every room, a phantom pressure against her chest. Her heart raced without reason, her breath catching in moments of stillness as if the air itself conspired against her. Fear wasn't a fleeting visitor. It had unpacked its bags, settling into the crevices of her mind, whispering doubts with every reflection she dared to meet. Every reflection, every shadow whispered reminders of the horror she'd faced. Sleep became a battleground where dreams turned into fragmented memories, visions of symbols carved in flesh, voices chanting in forgotten tongues, and a faceless figure lurking just beyond the edge of her sight. Marcus's journal, once her guide, grew more sinister with each page. Notes she didn't remember writing appeared overnight, ink smudged like it had bled from the paper itself. Symbols twisted unnaturally, as if the book was rewriting itself. The ritual was never completed. It waits. But what was it waiting for? Chapter 2. The Stranger with No Shadow. On a rain-drenched night, Evelyn met Theo, a man with piercing gray eyes and a voice like broken glass. He claimed to be an occult scholar, drawn to her by the disturbances she unknowingly caused. His presence felt like gravity pulling, inevitable. "You've already opened the door, Evelyn," he murmured. "But it's not about keeping something out. It's about what you've let in." His shadow never matched his movements. Sometimes, it didn't appear at all. Evelyn's stomach tightened every time she noticed the discrepancy, her breath hitching as a cold sweat prickled the back of her neck. The flickering candlelight seemed to recoil from where his shadow should have been, leaving an unnatural emptiness that felt more suffocating than darkness itself. The air grew heavier around him, as if reality strained to hold his presence within its fragile seams. Despite the dread curling in her chest, Evelyn followed him. Desperation makes dangerous allies. Chapter 3. The Forgotten Ritual. Theo led her to an abandoned chapel, swallowed by vines and decay. The altar was cracked, stained dark with ancient residue. Symbols marked the walls, pulsing faintly as if alive. "This is where Marcus tried and failed," Theo explained, arranging items: a shattered mirror, a fragment of the doll, and a vial of Evelyn's own blood, drawn without her realizing it. As the ritual began, Evelyn noticed Theo's reflection moving before he did, smiling when he wasn't. Her breath hitched. "I'm not here to help you," Theo whispered, stepping into the circle, eyes darkening. "I'm here to finish what Marcus started." Chapter 4. Betrayal and Blood. Theo lunged, ritual dagger glinting in dim candlelight. For a heartbeat, Evelyn saw Marcus's shadow overlapping Theo's face. The betrayal wasn't personal. It was cosmic, a pattern stitched into reality itself. They fought a savage, primal struggle. Fear fueled Evelyn's rage, and she drove the dagger into Theo's chest. His blood spilled into the ritual circle, an unintended sacrifice. "It's not me you should fear," he gasped, smiling through bloodied teeth. "It's what's inside you now." The ground shuddered. Darkness bled from the cracks, taking form without face or name, just hunger. It slithered like liquid shadow, folding and unfolding upon itself, shifting into grotesque shapes that defied logic. The ground around it withered, as if the life was being sucked from the very stone. The air grew thick, heavy with the stench of decay, and the flickering candlelight twisted unnaturally, casting jagged, frantic shadows. Evelyn felt an invisible weight pressing down on her chest, her heartbeat pounding in her ears as if trying to escape the suffocating pull of the entity's presence. Chapter 5. The Entity Unleashed. It wasn't human. It wasn't even alive. It was absence given shape, a void wrapped in whispers. It didn't speak with words, but pressed against Evelyn's mind, flooding her with visions. Marcus screaming, Agnes's eyes hollow with terror, Theo's last memory of regret. Desperate, Evelyn recited the ritual, the words tasting like ash on her tongue. The entity thrashed, reality fracturing around it, shards of darkness splintering like broken glass. It didn't leave without a mark. Part of it clung to Evelyn, a scar stitched into her soul. Chapter 6. The Cost of Survival. When the echoes faded, Theo was gone. The altar lay in ruins. Marcus's journal had turned to blank pages, as if its purpose was fulfilled or erased. Back in her motel room, Evelyn faced the mirror. Her reflection stared back and winked, but it wasn't just a simple gesture. The wink came a second too late, as if her reflection was catching up to her. Then, it tilted its head slightly, a motion she hadn't made. The corners of its mouth curled into an unnatural smile, too wide, too sharp, stretching just beyond what should be humanly possible. Then it smiled not with her lips, but with her eyes, dark and hollow, like something else was wearing her face. Because the ritual wasn't forgotten. It was unfinished. End of episode 4, The Forgotten Ritual.